All right, so I want to welcome every one of you to today's design review, and we have two designs from the group members. So I'm going to start with the first one, but before I start critiquing this design, I need you all to know that design always has a job to do. All right, and that job is to influence the design form. So whenever you are given a design project to work on, the brief you receive from your client is what will influence the form of the design. All right. So whenever you are asked to design a logo, first understand why the client wants to design the logo. The information you receive from the client is what you're going to use to make the logo look in such a way that when the target audience see it, they won't have any other choice than to go with the brand. And there's one thing I always say to the people who are used to my design review here, that every brand wants to be at the top, and we designers are the people who are going to help them design an image that their target audience will see and want to relate with them. But when we don't give them what will sell their product or their brand, it will make them lose money. All right. And part of what always make us get more clients as designers is when we understand what we are doing. Okay, so I'm going to stop here on this and I'm going to go straight to the first design for today. This logo here is boring. All right, and the reason why I use the word boring is because the effects around the icon, all right, is too much. Okay, and I noticed that the use of high contrast color, too much of high contrast colors on logo design is not good. So I would advise you avoid that. And then I'm trying to understand why we have all these shapes here. I don't understand why we have this. The composition of this logo is boring. The font used here is not okay, because if you look at the information under the logo here, we have digital solution. So I expect the font, all right, to have that digital look. And like I always say to you guys here, that the font you use on your design project matters a lot. Font is another way of us telling stories in graphic design. When you use the right font for the right title, it will boost the beauty of your project. All right, so the use of font is also key when it comes to logo design. All right, so I'm going to stop here on this, and we are going to redesign this. So on the second logo, all right, I like the way the designer play with the two letters here, but there should be balancing when it comes to logo design. All right, there should be what I call balancing in logo design. I noticed here we have that here, but I noticed that the I don't know, this side here looks somehow to me. I don't know how to explain. It would have been nice if we have maybe this comes like this so that it will balance with this side. All right, or maybe these curvy parts extend to this side, so it will just look as if maybe we have this. You know what? I'm going to take this out and I'm going to just create a new layer again. So I'm trying to say that we should have this. So to look like the continuation of this curved part is what connects to this side. Now, these are simple things that when you don't do them the right way, it will make your logo design look boring. I don't have too much to say on this logo because this logo is not that bad to me, but just that I feel they can still look better. Like what I always say to you guys, that, or maybe I've not mentioned it here before. There's no one right way to make a logo design look. There are so many concepts that you can come up with when it comes to logo design. In fact, it's not only on logo design. You can also achieve this when it comes to normal promotional design. Graphic design is not magic. All right, it's not something you just say and something happen. No. And if you can understand this, coming up with design project is going to be easy for you. Just know that there are so many ways. All right, there are so many ways you can achieve design projects. Okay, All right, so I'm going to go straight to Illustrator now, and I'm going to create a new document. And this part is one of the interesting part of this live training. So I didn't remember to say this before I clicked the OK button. I always like to use 800 by 800 whenever I'm designing logo with Illustrator. All right. So, for those of you who are not used to Illustrator is not the only application you can use to design logo. All right. There are other applications you can use. Okay. You can also use CorelDRAW, but for me, I enjoy using Illustrator because I come up with logo design with it faster. And so I think I'm going to start with the first logo. All right. So let's see what our first logo look like. So I'll go back to Photoshop, and this is going to be our first logo. So the first question you need to ask yourself whenever coming up with a logo is, what is the message? All right. What is the message? So after digesting this project, I realized that the things I'm supposed to use or icons that I'm supposed to put together to come up with this logo, because that's another important thing whenever you're coming up with logo design. You need to first of all draw out your idea on a sheet of paper. So before you can't draw out your idea when you don't understand the message. So if this logo is saying if the information of this on this logo is saying digital solution, it means I have to create something that shows digital. The common thing that we all see when it comes to digital is button. We're used to seeing buttons. We're used to seeing screens. All right, screens. And the reason why I'm writing all this down is because if you look at the brand, we have this digital solution here. Nobody knows what Ekime is, and nobody knows who they are. But once we have this digital here, it tells us what the brand is into. So, and that's why I decided to, put all of this together. So we have button, we have screens, and what else do we have again? We have panels. All right. Okay, so this, I'm sure there are still other things I can write down here, but because of time, I'm going to just stop on these three. These three items I listed here, this is difficult to see. So if you're designing an icon of this dude here, trust me, people will not really get the message. These two here are common. So you need to now find a way to mesh these two together to you have to mix them together and make them one. So if I say button and screen, it means I have to create something that shows a dot, because without a dot you can't make use of the screen. All right, so there should be a dot that you can, I mean, let me say button, I keep using, let me use dot. So there should be a button that will help the screen to work well. So what we're now going to do is to create something around this. All right, so after doing all of this, I end up doing this because if you check the first letter of the brand is C. So I now did this. So I find a way to connect this letter C with the button. So this is what I end up with after drawing my layout on my drawing book. So I have this C like this, and I have this at the center. So if you look at this now, this looks more like a button, like a power button. So I'll go back to Illustrator now, click on view and activate snap to grid, and I'll go to view again, and I'm going to turn on show grid. All right, so I'm going to go straight to my ellipse tool here, and I'll draw. Now hold on shift and alt and draw like so. Okay, so I'm going to remove. So the next shape I'm going to draw now should rest on this line here, because, and that's why I said, I said previously that logo design also need balancing. All right, so when you follow the same space, if the space between your logo is balanced, trust me, to help the look of your logo design. I said this at the beginning of this design review, that when the very first video, that white space is one very important element that you should know how to play with well when it comes to logo design. And that's the reason why I mentioned making sure that the space between your icon is balanced. All right, because balance is very important when it comes to logo design. All right, so I'm going to hit Control C on my keyboard and I hold down Control Shift and V, or I'll go to Edit and select Paste in Place. So this is going to paste this on the shape that I have already. So I hold down Shift and Alt and drag this down. And like I said, this need to rest on this side because I'm trying to achieve the space between the boxes. All right, so I'll hit Control C again, or go to Edit and hit Copy, and I'll use the shortcut to paste in place, which is Control Shift and V. All right, now for those of you that didn't get what I just did, it's just to go to Edit and select Paste in Place here. So I'm going to move this down like so, and I'll make the same move again by hitting Control Copy. I mean Control C, excuse me, and hold on Control Shift and E and V, not E. And I'm going to push this. Well, this needs to go down like so. All right. Oh, you know what? Um, Maybe I should just take this out. Actually, don't need this. I only need three shapes, which is one. Okay, I'm going to do this. Just one, two, and three. All right, then I'm going to hold and rest my mouse on the ellipse tool, and I'm going to select rectangle here, and I'll draw a shape here and move this out like so. And I'm going to select the shapes. Hold on Alt. Now, when you hold on Alt, what you are telling Illustrator to do for you is to cut out the shape. All right. Now, if you release your hand from Alt, you're saying Illustrator should unite the shape. All right. So I'm going to click once here. All right. And I'll hold on Alt and drag this in like so. All right. And I'll hold on Alt and just drag this like so. And we have this. So I'll click everything here and select unite. And now if I click this, we have this. All right. Then I'm going to select my text too, and this is the font part. Remember, I told you guys that using the right font is also part of what will help the look of your logo. All right. So the name of the brand is CKEEMIE. All right. Then I'll make this bigger. Make this here, and I'll make a copy of this. Okay, and I'll type digital solution. All right, and I'll move this here, position this here, align it. It should be a bit bigger. You know what? I'm gonna turn off the snap to grid, and I'm gonna turn off the. I'm gonna hide the grid. All right. So I'm going to move this, and uh, so the font name is Blender Pro. All right. So let's see if I use the bold on this. All right. So I'll position this here. And we have this. All right, so this is our first logo. And then for the second logo, I'm going to create a new document again. And I'll make this 800 by 800. And I'm just going to call this GT and click on the create button. So on this second design, the designer was asked that what exactly is this brand into? And the response we got from the designer was the brand is into selling of watches. Before I get to Illustrator, I just need to show you guys what the concept I want to draw is going to look like. All right, so this is what we're trying to achieve, okay? Because I'm trying to merge. So this is what I have in mind for this logo. So I'm going to draw my G like this. and I'm going to draw my T like this. All right, so the idea is to still maintain the circle. All right, sorry, my circle is not perfect. All right, but I believe you all get the idea. All right, so just connect this and then cut it here. Okay, cut it here, and then we're still going to achieve that, you know, part of the circle. All right, so I'm going to go back to Illustrator now, and I'm going to start work on the logo so you guys can get my message. So I'm going to go to view again, and I'll click on show grid, and I'll go to view again and select snap to grid. Okay, now this part of the logo may be a little bit tricky, all right, but and that's the advantage of you having the video, so you can go back and watch it over and over again. And please guys, practicalize all these things. The more you practicalize it, the better you are when it comes to using Illustrator for your logo design project. So I'm going to go back to my ellipse shape again, ellipse 2, excuse me, and I'm going to draw. Hold on, I'm going to hold on Alt and draw a shape like so. Okay, so for this I'm going to zoom in. Okay, and I'm going to um turn off the fill. So because I know my logo is going to have too much details, I'm not going to make the space between um the shapes too much. All right, so I'm going to count my boxes here, and I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'll make it a little bit bigger. I actually want 9 boxes, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Beautiful. So what I'm going to do then is to hold on Control and copy and make the same move again by holding on Control Shift and V to paste the shape in place, and I'm going to hold on Shift and Alt, and this time I'm not going to use the same space I have inside my shape here, so I'm going to stick with 3 space. All right, so I'm going to hold on Shift and Alt and hit and drag by counting 1, 2, and 3. All right, I'll hit Control C again, I'll paste it again, and I'll make the same move again, 1, 2, and 3. All right, do it again, 1, 2, 3. Then copy again, view, 1, 2, and 3. All right, so we have this. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle shape. All right, and my rectangle is going to have the same 3 boxes shape again. So I'm going to start from this side. All right, so I'm going to drag. I'll use space to move, and watch my boxes. I have 1, 2, and 3, and I'll drag this till I get to this side like so. All right, and I'll zoom in. Now make sure this is resting on this. All right, so then I'm going to hold down Shift, drag to move on a straight line, and I'll hold on Alt to make a copy of the shape, and I'll position it and release my hand from my mouse, and I have this. So I'm going to hit Ctrl D to duplicate the shape or to make copies of the shape. So I'll do that now. Then I'm going to go back to the shape again and draw a vertical shape. So I'm still going to achieve the same 3 boxes, 1, 2, and 3, and I'll drag this down. And this time I'm going to drag this, hold on hold on Shift first, drag, and hold on Alt and release your hand from your mouse first. And then you have a copy of the vertical shape, and I'm going to hit Ctrl D to make copies of it like so. All right, now it's time for us to start, doing the important part of the the process. All right, so I'm going to use the same tool again, but before I do that, I need to first select the objects, and I'm going to select the shape builder tool, and I'm going to start. So I'm going to click here, drag. All right, two. So I'm going to count 3 lines. One, two, I mean four. Yes, should be four. All right, so 4, 2, and 3. And this should go this way, like so. All right, so I'll move this up, and I have 1, 2, and 3, like so. Okay, so then I'm going to create the G by moving this like so. All right, now this time you don't need to hold anything on your keyboard. All right, just keep drawing. I'll keep dragging, excuse me. I'll stop here because this part is very tricky. So you just need to be very careful with the way you move your mouse. So I'm going to move this like so. Okay. And I'm going to move this till I get to this side. And I'm going to write this like so. Okay. And so for this side, I'm just going to push this till it gets to this side like so. All right, then I'm going to hold on Alt. All right, because this time I want to delete the shapes. So I'm going to move this down like so, and this should go in. All right, I'm trying to delete the boxes now. Okay, so I'm going to move this in like so, move this in like so, and delete that like so. Okay, so I'm going to hold on Alt again and just take this out. Now, when you're doing this, you need to be careful because if you mistakenly drag this on top of this unite this shape that you've united, it will delete it. And this is what I'm trying to say. So if I drag this like so and I move it to this side and I let go, you see I have lost that shape. So I'm going to hit Control Z or Command Z to go back, and I'm going to hold on Alt, and this time I need to be very careful not to make it touch my shape. Okay, so I'm going to push this here like so. I think something is wrong here. Okay, no. So for this side, I'm not going to hold anything. I'm not holding Alt this time because I want to. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. I'm not supposed to do that, so I'm going to take this out like so. Take all of this out like so. Take this out like so. So I'm not holding anything this time because I want to unite these two objects. So I'm going to drag this here and hold on Alt and take this dude off. Alt again, take this one off. Take this off. Take this off. Oops, you see, I've made a mistake. So I'm going to hit Ctrl Z to go back and or Command Z for Mac users. So I'm going to just take this out like so, and take this out, take this out, like so. I'll do the same thing here. So I'm holding on Alt now, all right? Alt will help you delete the unwanted shapes. So for this side, uh, I'm going to hold on Alt, just take this side out, like so. Okay. And so for this side, I don't need this side anymore. So I'm going to select everything and hit Control D. And did I say Control D or delete? All right. So I'll delete this. Or let's just use the shape builder tool. You need to select everything first. Then I'll use the shape builder to just hold on to take that part out. And I'm just going to connect this like so. Okay, so then I'm going to select everything here and hit the unite option, and I'm going to change the color, and I have this. All right, so for you to be able to see this clearly, I'm going to turn off the guides. Turn off snap to guides like so. This here. Oh, you know what? This will make it bigger. Good. Make it bigger. Okay. So this is the part I was trying to explain at the beginning of this review, that try as much as possible to connect the shape. Connecting the shape will make your logo design balance. All right. So then I can just type the name now by so what's the name again? It's called Grace Times. Grace Times. Make this bigger. Just delete the lorem text, and I'm going to change this to modern. All right. And I'll make this bigger. Then I'll centralize this. We have this. Or let's just close the tracking. So I'm gonna close the tracking a bit. For those of you who are new to my channel, please remember to hit the subscribe button and tell me what you think about this logo project and the description section of the video. And watch out for my next design review. Peace.